everyone, it's Desiree, and I am here, yes, it is that time of the month again, with Scrapping for Less and their Flavor of the Month card kit. This one is for April, and its theme is city streets and country roads. So, let's look at the contents like we always do. Remember, 2 subscriptions, Double Dip Sundae and Banana Split. I'm first going to show you the Double Dip Ingredients subscription. So as always, you can get your ingredient sheet and your sketch page down below. I will have them linked down in the video description. So our card stock will be 2 sheets of Neenah 110 Classic Crest Smooth, Solar White, Wild Cherry, Chocolate, Starch Raisin, Snow Cone, Insulation Pink, and Limeade. So for collection 1, it is called Super Host. Your paper and your stamp set will be by Scrapping for Less. The paper is double-sided and has some beautiful bright colors. You're also going to get a set of enamel dots by Gina Marie Designs and some yellow ribbon by American Crafts. You can see this adorable stamp set has a boy and a girl and some great sentiments to go along with it. And as always, each collection does come with an envelope for your card. Collection 2 is called Your Best Life. Again, paper and stamp set are by Scrapping for Less. Now, what's great is for this stamp set, it is with SFL and Tawny Owl papering. We get some corners, we get some enamel dots again, and here is the stamp set. An adorable image, and again, that is drawn by one of the design team members. With Scrapping for Less. Collection 3, Country Roads. Again, a paper by Scrapping for Less, and also the stamp set is by SFL and Tawny Owl Papery. Again, you also will get some enamel dots and some natural twine. There's your twine, and then you get these white enamel dots. I am in love with that image. I'm in love with all of them, but especially that one, so I had some great ideas for it. For collection 4, that is Howdy Partner. So the powder. Wow! The paper is by Scrapping for Less, and as always, double-sided. You get some great prints, some bright, and those that look a little bit country. The stamp set is by Sunny Studio Stamps, and it's called Little Buckaroo. You get some enamel dots by Gina Marie Designs and tags by Desiree and Papermania. Again, everything that you're seeing here is in the Double Dip Ingredients. If you should subscribe or purchase the Banana Split level, you will get these items. You'll get everything that you see, plus what I'm about to show you. You are going to have a stencil, a Country Road stencil by Scrapping for Less. Either a white or black gel pen, either by Reminisce or Sakura. That beautiful flowery camera die by Scrapping for Less. And a pack of sequins, also by Scrapping for Less. So, that's your Banana Split level. So, let's look at the cards that we're going to create. As always, we're going to create 5 cards. One using one sketch from the sketch sheet for each collection, and focusing in on that collection. And then the last one will be used with, will be made using the items within the Banana Split. Wow, I cannot talk today, nor can I tie a bow. Are you seeing this? Just saying. I cannot tie a bow. So eventually I give up on the bow, I untie it, and I'm just like, hey, you know what? We're just going to tie a knot. And that's exactly what I do. There we go. Yep. It creates an awesome knot, a little tiny triangle, and the tails come down. So I cut the black or the gray and the dark gray papers to make sure that that spiral, that burst, is in the center. I'm taking a piece of the solid red and I'm turning that into a banner, and I'm going to use my tape runner to set that in place right along the side. I did take care of stamping and coloring all of my images off camera prior to constructing them for this video. I'm going to use the stars, and I cut a long rectangle for that, having that come across, and I'm going to trim that using my scissors. And then my image that I've colored using the same colors as the stars. Pretty much I did use my Prismacolor alcohol markers. I'm going to set that in place, and I'm going to just trim the tassels coming from the knot. I will use a glue dot to set my ribbon in place. I do think when it comes to fabrics, glue dots are perfect for that. I chose the sentiment, "You're amazing." I'm going to add a thin strip of double-sided foam tape to the one side because it will come off of the banner that I have. And then I will use my liquid adhesive for the other area, and I'll just have that straddle that. Going to make sure that's straight, press that down in place. And then I will set this onto my standard A2 size card base, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And for this one, it will be a top folding or a portrait style card. For this one, I will add some of the enamel dots onto the piece, but just a few. And that is our first card. For our second card, yep, Vintage Photo is going to make a play because these papers were absolutely gorgeous and they made me think of vintage. So everything's getting hit with the Vintage Photo. From one of the pieces of paper, I did cut out some of the tags, which of course will also be hit with the Vintage Photo as well. You guys know it's kind of where I go into if I can collage or if I can layer and if I can hit it with Vintage Photo. It's kind of my thing. But these papers, I did choose the postmark one and then that beautiful flower one, and then I have the scalloped coming off. I did staple that together so that I knew where I wanted it to sit. I'm just choosing one of the sentiments. I didn't choose the image to be colored. When it comes to this little, I figured the ephemera pieces that I've cut become the focal point to this. The sentiment I chose is "Never regret a day in your life." So having all of these coming out, I like the one, it said sin, mad, and then there's London. Yeah. I have a warped sense of humor, people. Even though it says Singapore, and I forget what the mad, I think it's Madagascar. So I'm going to glue down this large rectangle, and I'm going to set that in place. I will prop that up, and I am going to use my scissors to cut that down, because I do want that propped up. I'll remove the release paper and get this set in place, and then I will use my simmer. Wow, I cannot say scissors today. My goodness. What is wrong with me? No one answer that, please. I'm sure I could have many comments on that one. I trimmed it with my scissors. I'm going to use my double-sided tape on the one side because I will have this straddled going across that banner. I will use some of the enamel dots and set them in place throughout the focal point. We'll use my liquid adhesive to set this down on my standard A2 size card base. And that is our second card. For our next card, again, we're going to do more layering. Cut a piece of our wood panel, and I'm going to have that go across our 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 panel that I've cut. And then I chose, from another paper pack, I chose the newsprint or the dictionary page. So I'm going to have them form an X down in the bottom corner of this card front. So I'm going to set the one going from left to right down first, just along the bottom edge of the wood panel. And then I'm going to have the second one go from top to bottom, just creating that small X. Now, when it comes to the image, I used my, I went blank there, can't remember. Oh, I used the ink on 3 fade out, and I used my Prismacolor alcohol markers. Now, I wanted it to look very sketchy. I really wasn't, okay, now this is going to sound weird, a true no-line coloring, but I wanted to make it look just sketchy, if that makes sense. So again, there is no perfection going on here. You know, you can see, you know, I've got those flowers going on. And then I added some tumbled glass, blue, over the top, so that's the horizon. Now, I should have put the grass higher behind on the other side of the, on the fence, but we're just going to say that's a cliff. And I'm good with it. Okay, I'm going to take the twine, I'm doubling it up, I'm actually able to make a bow on this, and I will use my scissors to trim the edges. And I will put that down where the 2 strips of newsprint or dictionary paper, whatever you want to refer to them as, cross on this card front. Now, for this collection, the 3rd collection, it actually came with white enamel dots. I'm going to use those as clouds. Because again, the way that I used one of my makeup brushes to put the tumbled glass, and I wasn't perfect because those white areas can look like they're clouds. But by using the enamel dots, that can just help reinforce that just a little bit. So a different way to use your enamel dots. I mean, why not? Let's get creative with it. So for our next card, I fell in love with the denim and the burlap, you know, the country looking things. And I, of course, loved the tags. So again, everything's getting hit by vintage photo on this. And I pulled the sentiment, bless your heart, from the previous stamp set that I used. I'm going to thread the scalloped tag through the eyelet of the tag shape, and I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to use my double-sided tape to prop up that dictionary page again that I have, and I'm going to put that in the center of the burlap piece. And again, that burlap's just kind of framing that. Excuse me. I'm going to use a glue dot just to secure that secondary tag onto the front. Again, I'm not going to really add anything to them. I just think they work really well on their own together if they're layered. I'm going to use glue dots as well on the back of this, and also to set those strings in place. And then I will set this on top of those circles on an angle, because I do want to see the dictionary page a little bit as well. I'm going to set this pretty much in the center towards the top of the denim. And then I'm going to get my sentiment ready. Now I'm going to grab one of my Arteza Black fine liners, and I'm just going to go around the sentiment and then add my squiggles to make it look like it's something supposed to be stitch. Yes! Was thinking about putting the sentiment up on top. No, we went down to the bottom. And then we will add some of our enamel dots throughout our image. Again, just to add some interest onto the piece. Again, using my liquid adhesive to set this down onto my standard A2 size card base, and this will be a portrait card. So for our last card, I wanted to play with that die. That die is absolutely gorgeous. You can see the image of your camera. I did layer that 3 times. I wanted to keep that white. So I'm taking the stencil, and I loved the skyline part. I'm going to use my purple tape to block off these other sections. And I'm going to pull in my Distress Oxide and my makeup brush. and black soot. So I want to come off of the bottom because I want there to be a shadow. So I'm looking for the night sky to go along the bottom of this card. And you can see when I come in on an angle for this piece, I do get that shadow. And by just constantly coming over it, it holds the dark edge, but I'm also able to pull it out down throughout the cityscape, the city line. So once I've got that right color, I'm going to pull away my tape and I'm going to remove the stencil. Now, I loved that, so I'm like, oh, wait a minute, can I? And no, I didn't want to go there. So, because I would have messed something up. Now, you can see what I'm looking at. I want to take that camera image, that die cut, and I want that to sit above the cityscape. So now I'm going to use my same makeup brush, and I'm going to come in with tumbled glass, and I believe I come in with broken china, and then also faded jeans, because I don't want it to be a completely night sky, but I do want there to be darkness sitting along this horizon, and I want the brightness to be at the bottom where the skyline is. Yeah, there's a lot of gabbing going on. Hopefully I'm making sense here. Okay, so here comes the broken china, and again, I'm just going straight to the paper. I am okay if it's blotchy. I'll work at that, and I kind of like the blotchy look. To me, it adds texture. And then here comes the faded jeans. So that just brings it in a little bit more on the edges. And then just by, and knowing I'm going to have this piece that's sitting on top of that, if that makes sense. When I clean my brushes, I just use one of my microfiber cloths and keep pushing against that until nothing else comes out. So you can see, even though I don't have a perfect blend there, it's okay. Because this piece here is going to kind of tie it all together and block that. So I'm using my liquid adhesive to put that down, and I'm putting that on an angle. This card can be whatever you would want it to be. It can be a celebration, it can be a memory. That's why I'm not putting any sentiments onto it. Again, I'll make many cards, and sometimes I just don't put sentiments on them, because then I can use them for as the event pops up, because I am always late to the game when it comes to that. So I can make this a celebration. I can make this a birthday. I can make this thinking of you, or just a note, by leaving the sentiment alone. I'm using the remainder of my white enamels for the bases of the flowers, just to help them pop off as well. So that is our project for today, using the April 2020 Scrapping for Less Flavor of the Month card kit. And remember, the theme is City Streets and Country Road. As always, your downloads will be available down in the video description, along with the link to your kit if you are looking to subscribe, and to their shop, and also to their blog. So make sure you check them out. If you have any questions or comments, please make sure you leave those down below as well, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. If you haven't already, I'd love for you to hit that subscribe button. Make sure you ring the bell so you know when the next video is live, and also hit that thumbs up. Everyone, please enjoy your day. Continue to stay healthy and safe as we continue to go through this challenge across our states. But remember what's most important to me, and it has helped me immensely through my process as we continue to get through this. Always be creative. Till next time.